What's up, world, and welcome to another episode of the Unbronxing, Unboxing in the Bronx. And today, I got, as always, the hottest things on the market, the most fire things on the market, however you want to put it, however you want to label it. But first, as always, today, yes, Celsius, strawberry guava. Let's dive right in. Nah, it doesn't make you feel that way. It doesn't make you feel that way. You just feel good. You feel really good. Okay. So, without further ado, here we go. We're gonna jump right in. Two of the best combinations: superheroes and zombies. This is Batman Deceased. This is a GameStop exclusive. Here you go. Artwork in the back, very dope. See, Batman got the scar on the face, some ugly teeth. There you go, and there is a better view. GameStop exclusive, everyone. Okay, and next we have Daredevil, Matt Murdock, the blind lawyer. Now, this is a preview exclusive, but as I was just gonna say, whoever thought a blind person can whoop your ass like this dude here. Show, I definitely give the show 5 stars. I'm hoping that they allow the same actor to play in a Marvel movie as Daredevil. The Ben Affleck Daredevil. Okay, and now this is possibly the best sports movie of all time. If you want to argue with me about that, fine. I can see how, obviously everybody got their own opinions, but I can see how there may be others that some think, okay, this is the best sports movie. But if that's the case, I can narrow it down. This is the best boxing movie of all time. There's no way you can watch this and not get the urge to get up off your ass and work out. So, with that being said, hey yo, Adrian! This is a Funko exclusive. This is Rocky Balboa chasing around the chicken. There it is. He got the red sweatband on his head. In the back, you have Rocky Balboa and Apollo Creed. This movie was so well put together, and if you hear how many times they turned down his movie script, and then when it was finally accepted, they didn't want Sylvester Stallone to play Rocky, and he shut it down. He was living on the street. He had sold his dog, eventually got his dog back, which is Butkus. And, okay, let me not confuse everything. Okay, let me jump into the next one. Here is another Funko specialty series, Rocky Balboa with the championship belt. Now, you can argue that the later Rockies may have gotten a little but it definitely picked back up with Apollo. Sad to hear that Sylvester Stallone doesn't have his hands in any of the new ones that's about to drop. But hey, that's the way, the cookie crumbles, right? Okay, while we're still in that sports genre, here is Julio Cesar Chavez. This is possibly the most iconic and best Mexican boxer of all time. One of the first to do it. His record was immaculate. I believe he had about 90 something wins before he suffered his first defeat. A lot of people may say, hey, he fought, such and such and such and such, but at the end of the day, everybody has a puncher's chance, and to win that much fights, to put your body through that much, serious body shots, combinations, he had an amazing heart, like insane. So this is Julio Cesar Chavez. Right now, the best Mexican fighter, of course, is Canelo. You want to argue with me, but Canelo is definitely one of a kind. Okay, let's jump right back. This is the Joker, deceased GameStop exclusive. Got a big scar on his mouth, as if he needed any more scars to make him look creepy. Yellow eyes. This artwork is so dope. So crazy. Okay. And last but not least, we have the People's Champ. This was actually a gift from one of my friends. This is a Walmart Art Series exclusive. The Rock with the Brahma Bull all over him. The Rock has such an iconic, just life, you know, from wrestling to acting. Him and Kevin Hart's bond is just hilarious just to see them two together. Now, in my personal opinion, wrestling is not what it used to be. I know the new generation might want to tear me to shreds, but wrestling back in the day, especially when you had competition between networks, you had competition between federations, WCW, ECW, WWF at the time. It was just, it was great. I personally think Vince McMahon's greed ultimately was his downfall. Because now the Roman Reigns era is just, to me, it's just played itself out. Like, there's nothing new. It's the same thing. Ronda Rousey getting locked up. This new guy Dexter getting locked up. It's like a movie. It's like a soap opera. It's just Roman Reigns, the head of the table, and it's played. There's nothing new. You bring back Brock Lesnar over and over again, and every now and then you make have an old classic iconic wrestler to make a comeback. But me as a fan, as an old school fan, there's nothing to draw me back in. And I was talking to a coworker yesterday, and he says every now and then he dives back in, but there's nothing to keep him there. So now many may not believe that Vince McMahon actually retired, that Stephanie McMahon and Triple H is taking over. But regardless of the fact, if they don't try to bring in some new blood or something new, I fear the worst. WCW to me had the most classic wrestling. I mean, Sting was amazing. I'm talking about from Sting back in the day. Their cruiserweight division from Juventud Guerrera, Billy Kidman, Rey Mysterio, Psychosis. It was just, they had so much. They had just so much good classic wrestling, you know, Lex Luger. It's just, it goes on and on. Iconic tag teams. With that being said, WWF at the time, which is now WWE, had really good gimmicks, and Raw's War was really dope. When they had Mankind and you know, Undertaker coming from the boiler room, that dark, you know, scene, the Brood with Gangrel, Christian, and Edge. The list just goes on. It was just really good. Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock. There was just so much there. ECW was just extreme. My favorite was Sabu. Sabu and Rob Van Dam, really good. Rob Van Dam's matches with Jerry Lynn was iconic. But Vince McMahon started bringing in all the top guns from all the other federations and ultimately killing their career. This is just my opinion. Rob Van Dam was never who he was in ECW and WWF. Taz, the list just goes on. The Dudley Boys, the list goes on and on and on and on. Sabu, he brought him over for a few. The only ones that never really sold, that you know, made special cameos and didn't really, you know, stink, was the wrestlers from Japan. The Great Muta, Jushin Thunder Liger, the Great Saki. The list goes on. Those wrestlers didn't sell out. And going back to the classic wrestling, you have Sting who wrestled in Japan, his tag team, with Muda and even Hulk Hogan. When Hulk Hogan went to Japan, he was a whole different wrestler. He was doing moves that you would never think he would do. So now it's just sad to see that there's nothing they can do to bring me back as an old fan, because it's a rerun. It's just like a broken record. It's really dry. It's the same thing over and over and over again. It's like a soap opera. Dude's getting locked up, coming out, the girl's kissing him, he escapes. It's just and the gimmicks, the characters they have now. This is something to also stop me from buying any new wrestling games, because those I don't want to pick none of them. They're whack unless they have a selection of old characters that I could pick. So hopefully they do something. My personal opinion, what they can do to help bring stuff back is have, instead of those drafts, have like a reality show where you have people actually competing to see if they get a spot in a main event or in a pay-per-view. You have a bunch of people lined up living in a house, chaos, just to try to bring something back in, just to see that person grow from where he started to actually see him possibly main eventing. Maybe that'll help, but it's not the same. I think Vince McMahon's greed ultimately just is his downfall. The wrestling events still do sell out, but it's just not the same. I mean, like I said, the Roman Reigns era, how much more they're gonna keep on draining the cash cow? Like, it's just nothing new. There's no new taste. It's the same flavor over and over again. Anyways, enough ranting. With that being said, I wanted to thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of the Unbronxing, Unboxing in the Bronx. And as always, knock 'em out the box.